So today's topic is on pre-malignant and malignant lesions of the skin. Last class you all saw the non-neoplastic lesions of the skin, which included dermatitis, dermatosis, and the bullous lesions. So this class is on the tumors of the skin. So first, the classification of the tumors and tumor-like lesions of the skin. There are epidermal tumors, adnexal tumors, tumors of the sweat glands, melanocytic tumors, dermal tumors, and cellular migrant tumors. Under epidermal tumors, you have benign tumors. In that, you have squamous papilloma, seborrheic keratosis, fibroepithelial polyps, and keratoacanthoma. Epithelial cysts like epidermal cyst, pilar, dermoid, and dermoid cyst. Steatocystoma multiplex. Pre-malignant lesions include solar keratosis, Bowen's disease, xeroderma pigmentosa, and erythroplasia of curate. Malignant tumors, important malignant tumors are squamous cell carcinoma, basal cell carcinoma, that is also called as rodent ulcer, and basosquamous carcinoma. Another important malignant tumor is malignant melanoma. Then you have adnexal tumors, tumors of hair follicles, tumors of sebaceous gland, tumors of sweat glands. In melanocytic tumor, most important is malignant melanoma. So in today's class, I am going to deal with very few benign tumors, pre-malignant lesions and malignant lesions of the skin, that is squamous cell carcinoma, basal cell carcinoma, and malignant melanoma. These can come as a long essays for you all or short answers. So benign epidermal tumors, you have squamous papilloma. This is a picture of squamous papilloma where there is from the skin surface, it shows papillary growth with a pedicle while the surface is smooth. Microscopy resembles verrucae but differs from it not having vacuolated chyliocytic cells in stratum malpighium. Chyliocytic cells are nothing but the epithelial cells with central nucleus and perinuclear halo. It is seen in HPV infections. Squamous papilloma. Histologically, it shows hyperkeratosis, acanthosis with elongation of rete and papillomatosis. All these definitions I have dealt in the last class. So please turn the pages and see in your textbook regarding what is hyperkeratosis, acanthosis, and papillomatosis. Pre-malignant lesions of the skin are solar keratosis, that is actinic keratosis or senile keratosis, Bowen's disease, xeroderma pigmentosa, and erythroplasia of curate. Coming to solar keratosis or actinic keratosis or senile keratosis, solar or actinic induced by the variety of rays, actinic keratosis are multiple lesions occurring in the sun-exposed area of the skin in fair-skinned elderly people. Clinically, the lesions are tan brown erythematous about 1 cm in diameter with rough sandpaper-like surface and are seen more commonly on the dorsum of the hand and on the balded portion of the skin. So solar keratosis is multiple lesions occurring in the sun-exposed skin in fair-skinned elderly people. And clinically it is tan brown erythematous about 1 cm in diameter. Histologically, solar keratosis is nothing but squamous cell carcinoma in situ with following characteristic. There is considerable hyperkeratosis, marked acanthosis, dyskeratosis and dysplasia of the epidermal cells showing features such as hyperchromatism, loss of polarity, pleomorphism and increased number of mitotic figures. Non-specific chronic inflammatory cell infiltrate in the upper dermis encroaching upon the basement membrane of the dermis. So there is hyperkeratosis, acanthosis, dyskeratosis and dysplasia of the epidermal cells with chronic inflammatory cell infiltrate in the upper dermis. Bowen's disease is also carcinoma in situ of the entire epidermis, but it differs from solar keratosis in having solitary lesion, often that may be seen occur in sun-exposed as well as sun-unexposed skin. So you saw solar keratosis occurred on the sun-exposed area, whereas Bowen's disease occurs both in sun-exposed as well as sun-unexposed skin. Clinically, the lesions of Bowen's disease are sharply circumscribed, rounded and reddish-brown patches which enlarge slowly. Here, histology, it shows marked hyperkeratosis, pronounced parakeratosis. Parakeratosis is retention of the nucleus in the corneum layer. Marked epidermal hyperplasia with disappearance of the dermal papillae. Scattered bizarre dyskeratotic cell distributed throughout the epidermis. So marked hyperkeratosis, pronounced parakeratosis, marked epidermal hyperplasia with disappearance of the dermal papillae, scattered bizarre dyskeratotic cells distributed throughout the epidermis. Xeroderma pigmentosa, it is an autosomal recessive disorder wherein the skin is hypersensitive to the sunlight and there will be DNA damage, and failure to repair this DNA damage is the characteristic feature of xeroderma pigmentosa. This disorder may lead to multiple malignancies like basal cell carcinoma, squamous cell carcinoma and malignant melanoma. Nevus is nothing but congenital or hamartomatous lesion of the skin. Example is birthmark. Melanocytic nevus refers to any congenital or acquired neoplasm of the melanocytes. Nevus differ from melanocyte by forming clusters or groups within the epidermis. There are junctional nevus, combined nevus, and intradermal nevus. In junctional nevus, there is junctional activity taking place. That is nothing but the nevus cells lie along with the melanin pigment in epidermal dermal junction. The nevus cells form well circumscribed nests. Then intradermal nevus are slightly or no junctional activity at all. The nests are located in the upper dermis. And multinucleate nevus cells can also be seen. Compound or combined nevus is the combination of junctional nevus and intradermal nevus. Coming to the first malignant tumor, that is malignant melanoma, very important tumor. It's a neoplasm of the melanocyte. Most common site is the skin, other sites being oroanogenital, mucus, esophagus, meninges, and eyes. Etiology: sunlight, very important role. Predilection for the back in the men and legs in the women. Pre-existing nevus, hereditary factors, and carcinogens are important here. Usually these are asymptomatic. Itching is the early manifestation. Change in the color, size, shape in a pigmented lesion are the important clinical signs. So important features of melanoma are asymmetric of the lesion, border irregularity, color variation, diameter more than 6 cm, and elevated lesion. So ABCDE of malignant melanoma. They show variation in pigmentation. Shades of black, brown, red, dark blue, and grey color can be present. Borders are not smooth but irregular and often notched. Clinical warning sign: enlargement of pre-existing mole, itching or pain in the pre-existing mole, development of new pigmented lesions in the adult life, irregularity of the borders, and variegation of the color. Growth patterns: radial growth and vertical growth are the two important growth patterns of malignant melanoma. In radial growth, there will be horizontal growth within the epidermal and the superficial dermal margins, whereas in vertical growth, there will be downward into deep dermal layers. So this is the clinical picture of, the first one is a clinical picture of malignant melanoma. You can see it is a pigmented lesion. Then microscopy showing nests of cells in the dermis and with the junctional activity. And there is pigment melanin in individual cells. Grossly, depending upon the clinical course and prognosis, cutaneous malignant melanoma are divided into 4 types. One is lentigo maligna melanoma. This often develops from pre-existing lentigo, that is nothing but a flat nevus characterized by replacement of basal layer of the epidermis by the nevus cells. It is essentially a malignant melanoma in situ. It is slow growing and has got good prognosis. Superficial spreading melanoma. This is slightly elevated lesions with variegated color and ulcerated surface. It often develops from superficial spreading melanoma in situ, that is pegytoid melanoma, in 5 to 7 years. The prognosis is worse than lentigo maligna melanoma. Acral lentiginous melanoma, this occurs more commonly on the soles and palms and mucosal surface. The tumor often undergoes ulceration and early metastasis. The prognosis is worse than that of superficial spreading melanoma. Nodular malignant melanoma, this often appears as elevated and deeply pigmented nodule that grows rapidly, undergoes ulceration. This variant carries the worst prognosis. So you have 4 variants: lentigo maligna melanoma, superficial spreading melanoma, acral lentiginous melanoma, and nodular melanoma. Pigment negative. Microscopically, there will be pigment negative to hemosiderin, but it is positive to DOPA. Malignant cells laden with brownish black pigment going down, invading the dermis, and subcutaneous fat is seen. Melanoma cells, microscopically, melanoma cells are larger than the nevus cells, have large nuclei with irregular contour. Chromatin is clumped at the periphery of the nuclear membrane. Prominent eosinophilic nucleoli is a characteristic feature of malignant melanoma. Depending upon the depth of the invasion below the granular layer in millimeters, Clark has described 5 levels of spread of malignant melanoma. Level 1 is malignant melanoma cells confined to the epidermis and its appendages. Level 2 is extension into papillary dermis. Level 3 is extension to the tumor cells into the interface between papillary and reticular dermis. Level 4 is invasion of reticular dermis. Level 5 is invasion of subcutaneous fat. So this was all about malignant melanoma. Next tumor is basal cell carcinoma. Basal cell carcinoma are common, slow growing tumors that rarely metastatize. Rises sharply with immunosuppression and in patients with inherited DNA defect, that is xeroderma pigmentosa. also called as rodent ulcer of the skin because it is locally eroding tumor. So this is a picture of clinical picture of basal cell carcinoma. The most common location, 90% of the cases are seen in face, usually above the line from the lobe of ear to the corner of the mouth. The most common pattern is nodulo-ulcerative basal cell carcinoma, in which a slow-growing small nodule undergoes central ulceration with pearly rolled-out margins. The tumor enlarges in size by burrowing and destroying the tissues locally like a rodent. That's why it is called as a rodent ulcer. So grossly, it is a nodulo-ulcerative basal cell carcinoma, most common, with pearly white rolled out margins. Microscopically, there are nests, groups and masses of densely stained small epithelioid cells, that is basaloid cells, with prominent nucleoli and scanty cytoplasm invading the dermis from the base of the epidermis. Microscopy, fan-like radiating arrangement or palisading of the peripheral layer of the cells of the epithelial cell masses. And absence of epithelial pearls. Epithelial pearls is characteristic feature of squamous cell carcinoma and not the basal cell carcinoma. So this is a picture. You can see the nests of tumor cells, and peripherally there is palisading nuclei. So this is a picture, again nodulo-ulcerative type of basal cell carcinoma. You can see the nests of cells, and high power view showing peripherally the palisading type of nuclei. That means they are arranged in the regular pattern. Palisading means regular pattern of the nuclear arrangement. So this was about the basal cell carcinoma. Squamous cell carcinoma, next one. Squamous cell carcinoma is the second most common tumor arising on the sun-exposed sites in the older people, exceeded only by basal cell carcinoma. The most common exogenous cause of squamous cell carcinoma is exposure to UV light with subsequent DNA damage. Also Marjolin ulcer. Marjolin ulcer is chronic burn cases. And Kangri cancer, it is seen in Kashmiris. They use the Kangri to produce heat because of the cold temperature there. It's a vessel with coal in it, and they place it on the stomach and close the rug on it so that they get enough heat to in that cold area. Individuals who are immunosuppressed are as a result of chemotherapy or organ transplant, or who have xeroderma pigmentosa, is also prone for squamous cell carcinoma. Grossly, squamous cell carcinoma of the skin and squamous line mucosa can have one of the following features. More commonly, ulcerated growth with elevated indurated margin is seen. Less often, raised, fungating or polypoidal varicose lesion without ulceration is found. Microscopically, there is irregular downward proliferation of the epidermal cells into the dermis. Depending upon the grade of malignancy, the masses of epidermal cells show atypical features such as variation in the cell size and shape, nuclear hyperchromatism, absence of intercellular bridges, individual cell keratinization, and occurrence of atypical mitotic figures. Better differentiated ones have whorled arrangement of the malignant squamous cell carcinoma, and at the center there will be horn pearl, that is keratin pearl present. The centers of the horn pearls may be laminated keratin material. So this is a microscopic picture of squamous cell carcinoma. You can see there is nests of cells with variable amount of keratin at the center, that is horn pearls. Based on the keratin pearls, if the keratin pearls are present, it is called as well differentiated. Individual cell keratinization, if it is present, that is called as moderately differentiated. No keratinization and simply a solid pattern is a poorly differentiated squamous cell carcinoma. Next, coming to adnexal tumors, these include tumors of hair follicles, tumors of sebaceous glands, and tumors of sweat gland. In tumors of hair follicle, you have trichoepithelioma and pilomatricoma, and trichofolliculoma, tricholemoma. Tumors of sebaceous gland, you have nevus sebaceous, sebaceous adenoma, and sebaceous carcinoma. Tumors of sweat glands include eccrine tumors, eccrine poroma, eccrine hydroadenoma, eccrine spiroadenoma, apocrine tumors, papillary hydroadenoma, cylindroma, and sweat gland carcinoma. First is tumor of hair follicle. This includes trichoepithelioma, that is also called as Brooks tumor. This tumor may occur as solitary lesion or multiple inherited lesion, predominantly on the face, scalp, and neck. Histologically, the tumor is often circumscribed. The most characteristic histological feature is the presence of horn cyst having keratinized center and surrounded by basophilic cells resembling basal cells. These horn cysts stimulate abortive pallor structures which are interconnected by the epithelial tracts. Next is pilomatricoma, which is also called as calcifying epithelium of Malharbe. Pilomatricoma usually occurs as a solitary lesion, more often on the face and upper extremities. It may be seen at any age. The lesions varies in the size of 0.5 to 5 cm and appear as well demarcated dark red nodule. Histologically, it is circumscribed tumor located in the deeper dermis and subcutis. The masses of tumor cells embedded in the cellular stroma characteristically consist of two types of cells. One is peripheral basophilic cells resembling hair matrix cells, and inner shadow cells having central unstained shadow in place of the lost nucleus. Areas of calcifications are present within the lobules of shadow cells in 3/4 of the tumors. That's why it's called as calcifying epithelioma of Malharbe. Tumors of sebaceous glands. Sebaceous adenoma occurs in middle-aged person, most commonly on the face, and histologically it is demarcated from the surrounding tissue. The tumor is composed of irregular lobules of incompletely differentiated sebaceous glands. Sebaceous carcinoma is a rare tumor that may occur anywhere in the body except the palms and soles. Histologically, the tumor is composed of variable-sized lobules of poorly differentiated cells containing some sebaceous cells. The tumor cells show marked cytological atypia such as pleomorphism and hyperchromatism. Tumors of sweat glands. Depending upon the portion of eccrine sweat gland from which the tumor takes its origin, eccrine tumors are of three types: arising from intradermal portion of the duct, eccrine poroma; again arising from the intradermal portion of the duct, hydradenoma; and arising from secretory coils, it is called as eccrine spiroadenoma. Apocrine tumors include papillary hydradenoma, which is most commonly located in the anogenital region, and cylindroma, also called as turban tumor due to its common location on the scalp. Cylindroma may occur in both solitary and multiple lesions. Sweat gland carcinoma is a rare tumor, and the eccrine and the apocrine gland tumors described above may turn into malignant tumors. Tumors of dermis. All the tissue elements of the dermis, such as fibrous tissue, adipose tissue, neural tissue, endothelium, and smooth muscle, are capable of transforming into benign and malignant tumors. And there are different dermal tumors. These include dermatofibroma and malignant fibrous histiocytoma, dermatofibrosarcoma protuberans, xanthoma, lipoma, liposarcoma, leiomyoma, sarcoma, hemangiomas, lymphangiomas, and glomangioma, Kaposi sarcoma. All these are explained in the soft tissue tumors. This dermatofibroma and undifferentiated malignant fibrous histiocytoma. These are the soft tissue tumors which are composed of cells having mixed features of fibroblasts, myofibroblast, histiocytes, and primitive mesenchymal cells. Histologically, it is composed of spindle-shaped fibrohistiocytic cells which are characteristically arranged in cartwheel or storyform pattern. The benign variety contains uniform spindle-shaped cells with admixture of numerous foamy histiocytes. And dermatofibroma protuberans, this is a low-grade fibrocarcinoma that rarely metastasizes but is locally recurrent. The tumor usually forms a solid nodule within the dermis and subcutaneous fat protruding the epidermis outwards. And microscopically, you can see it's very cellular and is composed of uniform fibroblasts arranged in the cartwheel or storyform pattern. A few mitosis may be present. The overlying epidermis is very thinned out and stretched and may be ulcerated. Subcutaneous fat is frequently invaded by the tumor cells. So this was about the tumors. The three important malignant tumors are squamous cell carcinoma, malignant melanoma, and basal cell carcinoma. Basal cell carcinoma is called as rodent ulcer because of its local aggressiveness and burrowing characteristic. Then you have pre-malignant lesions like xeroderma pigmentosa, Bowen's disease, erythroplasia of Currat, solar keratosis. Then I dealt about adnexal tumor in brief. Please refer the textbooks and go through the question papers, and important tumors you should learn by yourself. Thank you.